one. I wish y'all could see what I had just transpired here. But anyway, welcome to Jack of All Talks. This is episode 4. I have the pleasure of having both my big sisters, Kiana and Sarita, and a new friend, Melissa. Welcome to the party. This is going to get fun so quick because we are talking about cheating. We're going to try to have a serious conversation about cheating. But the problem is, me, Kiana, and Sarita have never had a serious conversation in our lives. With the exception of one conversation when I was 18 next to a taco truck that altered both of our lives forever. So, with that said, I don't even know how to start anymore. I know we started the last one. We're going to use that promo as the funny story. But let's get into it. I don't know Melissa, but like I said before, I don't know Melissa, but I know everybody else. 3 out of the 4 people on this panel have cheated and have cheated on. Kiana, I already got your little sidebar. You cheated back. Got you. Me and Sarita, hoes. Whatever.
Because I've done both. I've cheated and then I cheated back.
Big facts. But this is what we're going to be talking about today. Like I said, we're going to try to be serious and also have some fun because there are some things about cheating that we need to talk about. So let's just start off with what is cheating? What do you do? If you're in a relationship, a regular 9, 20, 22, 23 described relationship, a regular relationship.
Like a 1953.
What is cheating?
Like what is considered regular?
1953, like, yeah, no, not even 1953, because 1953, cheating, you'd drive up the street and didn't nobody know you had a whole family 4 blocks away. So we're not gonna go 1953. Let's slide into like 1992 when it was like monogamy, when it was like, oh, you dating or you're not dating. Like there was no gray area. If there's no gray area, this is your other half. I'm gonna try to be as politically correct as possible. This is your partner. What is cheating? What is not cheating? And Melissa go. Down goes Melissa.
Oh, she's back.
There we go.
Yeah, she's back.
There we go.
She had to make a decision between the blunt and the camera, and the camera had to go.
Right.
But anyway, that is where we're gonna start. We're gonna start on how would you define cheating in a monogamous relationship?
Okay. I'll say, for me personally, cheating in a monogamous relationship is anything that is emotional,
right,
or physical. And when I say physical, I mean like not the little kiss on the cheek like your grandma. I mean you done tongue somebody down, you're gripping and grabbing, and or you done stuck some parts in some other parts that ain't supposed to be stuck in their parts.
Okay,
but wait a minute. If I kiss my work husband on the cheek,
damn it,
that's like I would kiss my grandma. Does that not count? Is that not cheating?
Well, that goes into another question I'm going to ask in a minute when she brought up emotional cheating, because I feel like work husbands and work wives, that's kind of like emotional cheating.
Right.
But we'll get into that in a second after we clarify.
Oh, Jesus. Like I picked my grandma, I'm wrong, according to Sarita's theory.
But but you jump in the head. I just need you to define what you consider cheating right now, and that's the next question, Key.
Well, you said we didn't have to follow your order of service.
The order of service, I sent you what we were talking about, but if I ask you a direct question, Kiana, god damn.
Now,
I asked you a direct question. What do you consider cheating in a monogamous relationship? Not the notes I sent you last night to get ready and just to have this argument about some shit that ain't happened yet.
Now, in this instance, what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about work husbands and all that and work wives.
No,
I'm just talking in general.
Anybody, person.
If we want to do anybody and all of that, then work wives, work husbands. First of all, that's a no-go. You're not finna have no work wife, no work husband. Because as soon as you talking about I got a work wife or a work husband, you're automatically cheating. So therefore, that's a no-go.
Right.
So yeah. So if you got a work wife or a work husband, regardless if you giving them church hug or kissing them on the cheek or whatever, you're wrong.
Right. Okay. Melissa, do you have anything to add to this before Kiana jumps the gun again?
I'm pretty much in agreement. I feel like it starts with anytime that you're emotionally detaching from me in
Mm.
order to fulfill a space in somebody else's voided life or a void in somebody else's space, then you violate it because you're taking away from me. So that means I don't have you at 100, which means we got a
Mm.
problem because 99 and
Oh.
a half don't do with me.
See, the thing about her answer was it was very eloquent, and then it scared me at the end.
Okay, I thought it was just me because I got a little
Yeah,
nervous.
I was like, damn, okay, so we are gonna have a real conversation because Melissa is here, and then she threatened my life to close the statement, and now I'm like, I feel better. I feel better.
I got
All right, I don't want to make sure I wasn't the only one. It was like, did she just grab a knife? She grabbed a knife.
I was
All right, okay. Oh my god. So since we brought it, yeah, Kiana, would you like to answer the direct question
Sure.
now before you go off?
First of all, I was not answering. I was asking Sarita a question about her answer, but I can answer. Well, I'll say in a general sense to me, and I'm straight as Indian hair, so I'm not going to be politically correct because to me, cheating is with another
Right.
female. I will say it's.
I have another question. Yeah,
If
Sarita,
I'm
put your
with
hand
my
down.
partner,
Sarita, put your hand
for
down.
me, what I'm looking for is anything that he feels he has to hide from me with someone of the opposite sex, and vice versa for me. So if anything in my phone or that I'm doing that I can't in front of my partner say, this is what I'm doing, this is what it is,
Right.
something's off, because whatever I'm doing, I should be able to be transparent about. And I figured, and I think it's like that because most people have their own interpretations of what it is. So if like, why are you hiding it? What do you think is wrong with this action?
Right. Okay. I mean, that is. I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. If you feel like, if you know, but that generally speaks like if you know you trying to conceal it, you probably already know that this wouldn't be approved. Yeah, you wouldn't be approved in your situation. So you should definitely. Yeah, I think that goes without saying. All right. Well, then we'll jump into this next one, since Kiana already wants to get into it. Work wives, work husbands, and emotional cheating. Like, what is? I mean, I've had a work wife once, but once I was like, all right, I'm about to get in this relationship, I can't have a work wife anymore. Like, it seems wrong to me on that level, just because like you calling somebody else, you have for somebody else to have a title while you in a relationship is kind of off for me at least. So it was like, all right, cool, no, you forever my partner, but we need to kind of separate that and let me go do what I'm supposed to be doing over here. But you're forever gonna be cool with me, but just not in that manner anymore.
So you cheated on your work wife to get a girlfriend?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I couldn't. I stopped living in. Stop living in. Had to come back to reality.
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I never did the work, like the work wife, work husband thing. I never did that because
Right.
it just wasn't me. But also, like I've seen people who did that work wife, work husband. Oh, and it got messy, especially
Oh, yeah.
when the boyfriend or the real husband came up. Oh, it got messy. It was freaking hell, but it got messy. So I never was the one to do that. I never believed in that either. Like, why do I have you here for this when I actually have a partner?
No, it wasn't like this wasn't like I set out to do this. It was just like in the situation that we were in, like you don't have a lot of communication with the outside world at that time. We weren't allowed to have cell phones and things of that nature. So it was like you were stuck with the people that were around you. And it just was like, that's who we were. We just hit it off and we're cool. So it ended up being that. It wasn't like I set out to go find this person and do anything of that nature. It was just.
Yeah, see,
it was basically, it was like being in jail, but there was females. So,
yeah, see, that turned out into a different situation for me. Because we were I was in that where you didn't have cell, like you couldn't use your phone. You and this person became real close. And then, yeah, now we're divorced. So,
I also meant to throw this part in before. I'm not asking for names. I'm not asking for a whole bunch of details. So no names, no fingerprints. If you don't want to incriminate nobody, feel free not to incriminate them. If you want to put them on blast,
I ain't saying nothing. Y'all know who it
I
is,
don't.
but you know.
I'm not giving
I
out no
mean,
free
yeah, most of us
promotion.
know who it is. Exactly. Well, that part too. That's what I'm just saying. But hey, I'm just letting you know. You don't feel free not to incriminate yourself. That's all I'm saying. All right. Well, Melissa, you up again. Let me prepare myself. Last time I wasn't ready.
Oh, no. I mean, what I said still stands. I still feel the
Okay.
same way because you're still giving a piece of you. Your work day, you're supposed to be on the grind for the hustle and flow that's going on in the house.
Right.
You don't have time, energy, effort, or even change for a candy bar for another chick if you coming home to me. I stand on that.
Not change for a candy
Okay.
bar.
Okay.
Let
Now,
that go starve.
if look here, if we don't have $1.25, she don't have $1.25 unless I say, yeah, go ahead, once in a blue moon. But yeah, I mean, yeah, no, you're not obligated. Don't do that. Mm-mm. You don't
You know
create
what?
home in a work office space on the time that my man is making money to bring home so that we, no, ma'am, you taking out of my mouth. I don't accept that. I'm not doing it. It's not that it's a single standard. I'm not doing it. So I expect the same respect.
That actually, what we just talked about gives me a cool little transition because now we can talk about the social contract of dating because I know that is interesting in these new terms in these new times, and then just defining dating because everybody's got their different terms now. That's my friend. That's my sneaky leak. That's them over there. I ain't put your face down. I ain't said nothing. Uh, it's just you got so many different ways of defining who doing what with who. So I think that also goes into what she's talking about because now people be like, oh, well, we weren't official and all that other, and they come up with all these different loopholes about why they're not cheating. So I think that's the other part. Like, well, we've gotten away from like, oh, well, like, oh, I'm talking. Everybody's like, oh, we're just talking. We've been talking for about a couple of weeks now. So if you still feel like you should go be able to do that, maybe just for the streets.
I feel like it's like
So
Yeah.
with you and your partner. Like
right,
whoever that person is, y'all sit down and have a like and in that conversation you need to lay down what your construct is in your relationship. Like what are we? What does
right.
this are we together? Are we exclusive? Is it I do me, I you do you? When we come together we do each other and it? Or is it no, we're and this is what I feel is cheating. This is what you feel is cheating. So these are our boundaries, and these are things that we can't cross. Like that's what I should be happening in now in 2022, going into 2023. Um, because if you don't have that conversation, then everything gets murky, and then somebody gonna get hurt because one person gonna think y'all exclusive, the other person gonna be out here sticking and sticking, and then and then somebody mad.
Cue the Jasmine Sullivan music. All your windows gone.
Right. Because listen, we've I'll be quiet because windows have come up missing.
Oh, I wasn't. Once again, no names, no fingerprints. I'm not incriminating nobody because I was probably there. So,
Some windows have come up missing. Some tires have come up flat.
You know.
Jesus.
But people, people have grown in
Yeah.
thought.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not I. Not I.
Not
Mm-mm.
I.
The Lord is
I
not
have
through with me yet.
as Kiana said,
Not the Lord know my heart.
as Kiana said, I have been on my Tabitha Brown lately. She wants me to go back to my Medea, but I have been on my Tabitha Brown, and I'm on
Please.
stay on that a bit longer.
I mean, I know a few people at the public defender's office, but I don't know if I can get y'all off. So I'm
I'm
gonna need
not
y'all to be
trying to
cool.
vibrate that high.
Um.
I'm going to operate in my pettiness that the Lord has gifted me. It's going to
I
be
don't think
just
that's a.
that.
I don't think. I don't know if that was okay. I don't remember that being
Yeah.
okay.
I feel like the key to any relationship is communication, right?
Right.
So even if you're in the talking phase, at some point you're sharing with this individual outside of our relationship. My questions are you having discussions on a deep level, on a spiritual level, or any type of level that you're not even having with me at home as your partner, as the person that you're laying with in any capacity? Because it would be established well before, even at the point of hey yo ma or how you doing beautiful. I've already established with you I'm not the fuck girl. I'm not the puma cougar type of. I'm not taking care of you. This ain't the come up spot. No, none of that. Period. It's none of that. Either you coming 10 toes down or you can keep it the fuck pushing. So that should be established from the door. That way you have no opportunity to make the mistake and fuck around and find out the hard way that you were in a position other than what we had a clear understanding on. And I feel like that's something that needs to be established up front because I don't want you to have any hesitation of a doubt on why I had to split you to the white meat. You knew that. So yeah, no, we're not holding conversations. No, none of that. Because again, I don't do it. So if you would jump up on my back, if you happen to walk past me and you see me having a conversation with another dude, or that's my work husband, and you would jump on my back, then why is it okay for you? It's not. Now,
Right.
if we have established that you just a fuck boy and I'm just a fuck girl, which is not my personal preference, but for the people that do that, but we said relationship now. If that's what you do, then fine. But if it has been established, which should have been done, conversation numero uno, then yeah, you just playing in my face at that point.
I would like to say I personally appreciate that your high level intellect and death threats at the same time are just great for this conversation.
I like her.
I mean, I'm saying, first time meeting her, but the fact that she just slides that fact that I'll bust your shit to the white meat after talking to you like your college professor.
I like her.
I got a high level appreciation for shit like that, and
Thank you.
yeah, if I got to take that, if I got to put this book down and stab you, you can't help but just tip your cap to that. Like, thank you for that.
Hey, I might get into some shit and have to represent myself. You know what I mean?
I got to tell you, man, I can't take this deal. I got to talk about it. Oh man, where was I going with this before? I just completely lost my train of thought. God
Before
damn it.
somebody's white meat was out.
I'm available every time.
Before somebody who white me was getting busted, I had a whole way I was going with this.
Hey, look, anytime you need me here, just send me the link.
I got you. I'm about to go ahead, man. I got to bookmark this. Oh man, wait a minute. Let me converse Melissa in on this. I need a different point of view. Oh shit. So once again, like I know I don't, like I said, I can't speak for Melissa, but I know the rest of us have been cheated on. Like, what's that feeling when you feel it? Like, what's your feeling? Like, what's your next thought? Like, am I going to jail? Am I getting even? What? Because yeah. Because I can only mean the last time I got cheated on, I was like, oh cool, I'm finna go knock down both your partners. I'll be back in the morning.
Not
so
take two of your partners and call me in the morning.
yeah, that's really how it kind of went down. Like, oh, okay, we're still lying to each other. All right, well, let me show you this real quick. Let me channel all of my inner Kiana and go show you something.
So,
but I mean, at the end of that, it hurt.
I'll say the old me, the Medea me.
Mm-hmm.
It was you
They get my purse. They get my purse. Me.
Okay, I'm finna call somebody and we finna do what we need to do. But also, sir, you finna know what you did to me will never compare to shit that I'm finna do to you. And you finna feel every bit of it. And then I'm gonna leave and let you feel all that by yourself. And then you're gonna have to then you're gonna remember, oh wait, She was 10 toes down for me, and I fucked that off.
Right.
I just let a good one go. And now you finna be in your feels, and you finna be mad, and then you finna be on my phone, and I'm finna be like, fuck you. Now that's the old me.
Right.
The new me.
First, wait a minute. Whoa. You said in 2023?
The Tabitha me. That's the 2020 me. The Tabitha you, boo. Because whatever at this point, my happiness and my sanity is more important than trying to get you back. Because, and not get you back as like I want to be back with you, but just get you back on the shit that you did to me. Because what's going to happen is eventually the wrong that you did to me, for somebody who was good to you, who was there for you, who was 10 toes down for you, that karma, that energy, all of that shit, the way you did me, is finna come back to you tenfold worse than anything that I can do to you. So I'm finna let you have that. Go on, be with her, be or do whatever you want to do, and be happy. Think you happy and all this other shit. But again, you still in my DMs, and you still trying to get back. You still trying to test these cookies. So obviously, sir, some shit ain't right. But you stay where you at, because these ain't for you no more. That's how I feel.
I often forget how close we are, and that these conversations have happened all of my life. But I don't like hearing that shit. Anyway, Kiana.
Hey,
No, stop. No, the spirit don't move no more. Kiana. God damn it. I love you, Sarita. Anyway, Kiana.
Well, we all know I'm a processor, so it takes me 24 hours to really decide what I want to do. However, I'm always on the side of playing cool and fucking you over in front of your face. I feel like once you open that door, you're going to have to hold it open for me, sir, because I can show you that I can do anything you can do better. You thought you were slick. Let me show you something. And I'm going to do that until I get tired of fucking with your emotion. And then I'm going to go take a nap and move on with my life. I believe in karma, but I just feel like I'm going to help her. I'm going to help speed her up just a little bit so I can be around for the show. I need to watch from the front row with my popcorn. Karma might take too long. I might be done moved on with my life and I won't get to see it. But if I create it, I get to watch from the front row.
These are
Wow.
these are facts. That was I have.
I ain't evolved. I'm here for it. Y'all TT will stay. Don't start no SH. Won't be no IT.
I ain't gonna lie though.
No, not much easy. You got to bring it in this. You ain't got to bring her into this.
In the midst
She don't want no part of this.
in the midst of it, I was like, "That's what
Oh
you
no, I mean, I think this, but I think back to before we jump into Melissa's answer and we get enlightened and terrified at the same moment. Well, I mean, come on now, we've known each other for the better part of all of our lives at this point. So I think back to when we were, that 10, 15 years ago mark. Oh God.
fucking niggas over. Like you fucking bitch, we was fucking niggas over. So
Well, first and foremost, wait a minute, before you indicting my character.
sir.
Before you completely indict my character,
Sir.
I was always reactionary. I was honest when it started. If you got wavy, if you got a little shaky,
Look at both of us.
I can't. Y'all just gonna both of y'all, huh? Okay.
Reactionary. That's the word we choosing to use.
Yep.
It's your story. You sticking to it.
Reactionary.
All right. Okay. Okay.
Your perception is your
Yeah.
reality. We're gonna let you have that.
Right. Melissa, your turn. Because obviously he died.
I've grown. I've changed. But that's the next question. Melissa, go ahead. Let me give my.
Okay, so I'll tell you a story.
Oh,
right?
shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you a story. So, I was married and found out that my husband, well, let me go a little bit before that. Well, no, let me stay where I'm at. I was married and got a call in the middle of the night from my husband's job, who thought they were calling his mother, because she was his next of kin on the emergency contact list, to tell me that he was in the hospital and he had passed out or some stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, cool beans. She's like, yeah, I wanted to reach out to the wife, but I understand that she's in the hospital, so I had to reach out to you all. She thinking I'm his mother. So I'm like, no, I'm the wife. So wait, who's in the hospital? I'm sick? She's like, yeah, can I call you on your personal line? Of course you can call me on my personal line. This lady proceeds to tell me that my husband has been on FMLA part-time for the last month, and that the reason why he was on FMLA part-time was because he told them that I was in a coma on life support and that at any day now I could pass on. So he needed to spend that time off by my bedside during visiting hours. The plot twist is about 10 years prior, I actually was in a coma. So I have pictures of those, pictures of me in that coma, like on my social media pages. It's kind of one of my testimonies, right? Surviving that. So he took those pictures to his job and showed them to the people at his job and had those people thinking I was on life support. Fast forward. Once I found that out, and that goes with the whole cheating, because I mean, where were you? I put him out and then packed up my entire house by myself and relocated to Texas, which is how I ended up living in Texas. I've been here a year. I didn't even tell him I was moving. By the time he found out, he just happened to be coming to check the mail, and the house was empty because fuck around and found out I was not playing. So, in a plot twist of karma, because I'm about to tie all of this together, uh, I finally send off paperwork for the divorce. The divorce paperwork goes into the court on the 7th of December. So we're talking a couple of weeks ago. He died on the 9th. How did he die? He had back surgery. His fiance told me. He had back surgery, had a stroke on both sides of his brain, and ended up on life support. Lost all blood and brain activity, and then died. So, yeah, all of that to say, all of that.
There's so much to unpack in that story. And once again, Melissa, thank you for terrifying us and putting us on game.
I'm
Like,
serious. No, for real. So,
but
yeah, this is
that's a
why.
crazy story. Like that's a wild
Yeah,
story to use somebody's legit life or death situation to form a whole nother life, and then at the end of that, lose your life behind it. That'll make you act
but
right
when
for
I
a
tell
week.
you, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it just unpacks and unpacks and continues to unpack. The reason that his family thinks that I left, the things that he had to try to cover. We done found extra children people thought wasn't even out. Sit down and talk to me one day. You'll find out a lot of shit. But yeah, so yeah, been there, done that. That's why I have zero tolerance now. Because even then, he wasn't my type per se. I was in
Right.
church at the time, really heavy. And my pastor thought that God told him that was my husband, even though my intuition was like, and I didn't connect with him because of those communications. Something just didn't click. We never did get into that groove or that vibe. So I knew from there, you know what I mean? Going again full circle. That communication never settled. So I knew it wasn't anything I should go further in because just the depths of the things I would unpack at the getting to know you level the math just wasn't mathing. But I allowed the influence of someone else because I thought maybe it was me. Okay, well, heart knock, or you're too heavy, or you're too judgmental, or you're too selective, or you're too harsh. So relax. And that's what I did. And that's how I slipped up with that. And that's why now I have zero next to none tolerance. I mean, I have understanding, but
Yeah, that's so. I think that does kind of transition to my next question. Like, well, my next two questions really were: one, how do you heal? Because sometimes getting cheated on is a little different. Like, both those stories is that's a deeper cut than you get cheated on when you 22 and it's like, man, you really just did that, or 25. But like, for somebody to create an entire life outside of you, like that's something different. So, but then there's also, well, I guess my next question is, yeah, how do you bounce back from cheating? Because even like in our revenge stories, we don't heal from being vengeful. We just kind of just do what we got to do. Go ahead, Ree.
for me, I had to move.
Right.
Texas was it. I couldn't be anywhere where I knew anybody who knew me from before. Family, friends, loved ones, my kids are all grown. I literally can come outside and be exactly what I had to do was go back to the realest, the time that I felt like the realest person in my life. Before church, before the influence of people. When did I feel the realest last? And whatever the rawest form of me is, I need to start from there. So that's what it was. For me, I had to get completely away from anybody who knew Sister Melissa, anybody that knew Miss Moss, anybody who knew anybody prior to my landing here. And only then could my healing start. And even with the situation with him, I was already at peace with that situation even before I became a 5, 6 day widow. I was already at peace with that. So the rest of it was me being pissed off that I kind of got thrown back into the circle when I was already disconnecting from that. And that takes a lot of my sister. She makes fun of me all the time because I sit in the house currently with the TV off. It's on, but it's on mute. And I literally watch TV with closed caption because sometimes I'm an overthinker, obviously. I'm an overthinker, so I need to dissect everything. I need to rectify everything because as harsh as I am, my heart is big as fuck. So I'm always checking and rechecking and combing through and making sure, like, dang, did I give too much here? Did I do too much there? Because I literally let people crush me before I let them go. That's my
Mm-hmm.
problem. That's what I'm working on. That's my toxic trait of myself, my enemy, is that I let people get away with too much because I want to make sure that when I cut you off, there's never an opportunity for me to turn around and come back. So I got to let you hurt yourself, hurt me enough to put you all the way out. So that maybe I need to do that a little sooner, or I've learned to do that a little sooner. But yeah, healing is first getting out of your head, not blaming yourself, and just kind of dissecting and being okay with healing in your timing, having your back, trusting your opinion, your faith, your God, whatever your prayers. Sometimes you got to get alone with you because you're the realest person you know. You can't lie to you. And you definitely, if you invite God into the room, you can't lie to him because he know it all. So you can try to play, but he gonna roll back that beautiful beam footage and show you exactly who you are. So lie for what? Anything less is somebody else. I gotta stay 100. 99 is somebody else.
I had to do it. I had to do it.
I tried
Uh,
hard. Listen,
oh no, 99 is somebody. No, I felt that one. 99 is
Right.
somebody else.
Yeah.
But
Real shit.
nah,
like
99 is somebody. You man, you can't. How you not take that to heart? That 99 is them over there. Oh God, Key, go ahead before we get into Sarita because I gotta brace myself.
I have to say that I think that is my toxic trait. I don't heal. I just kind of do a nigga dirty, kick that nigga to the side, and move on. And eventually, it just doesn't bother me anymore. And then, something else will happen,
Right.
and then the PTSD kicks in. And that's when
I
I
was just about to say, but
realize,
then
I didn't really heal from it. I just kind of scooted forward.
right, you still got those
Yes.
triggers.
And so
That
I'll
too.
say that for me, I'm just one of those people. Because I'm an overthinker as well. So it's easier just to bury it somewhere than to try to unpack it. Simply because a lot of the questions and things that I have, the dishonest motherfucker that did in the first place is not going to be honest with me
Yeah.
anyway. So it's like all the
Period.
questions that I have,
Right.
one, if they do answer them, I think they're a liar. So then I have to try to overanalyze their answers. So it's like, why even ask? Well, then I leave it to my own accord, and we all know my imagination is buck wild, which is probably 20 times worse than what the truth actually is. And so for me, I feel like trying to get to the point to go through it to heal is more traumatic than actually just putting it down and crossing my fingers that PTSD doesn't kick in later. And if it does, I'll deal with it at that time, because at that point, to me, it's a problem. It becomes a problem that I have to solve when I realize it's still affecting me. But if I can still move about the cabin accordingly as normal, then it's not
Right.
affecting me, and it's not a problem to that point. And so, I hold it in until I don't have a choice but to face it. But it's easier down the road because I'm not so much itching from answers from that person. Because when the hurt is raw, it's like, well, why? Well, why? Well, why? Well, why? But later down the road, it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to unpack this just so I can be done with it. But at that point, I'm in a space where I can unpack by myself, have my own thoughts, make my perception my reality, and that's the truth, and I move forward.
Okay, so my audio went out. So what was the question?
The question was, so we've always talked. We were piggybacking off of the story that Melissa told us, and it was just, so how do you heal on moving on from those type of situations where like you were cheated on, and it was like, it's not like that little cheated on, it's that for real cheated on. Like, oh, okay, I didn't know we were doing this.
Come
That's
on,
why you get to
Sarita.
go last.
Get a piece of word.
Come on,
Go
Sarita.
get a piece of word.
I wrote this episode just for you.
Go get a piece of word.
That's why you get to go last. Come on now.
Tell you, because this is real fresh, real new. Okay. Oh,
I wrote this question just for you. Come on now.
how I healed from it.
How you heal it? Yeah.
So when I found out about the cheating,
Okay,
I
first of all, let me
had
interject here. Weed does not count. So we want to know about all the other stuff.
what you
I feel like weed
Will
counts every now
weed
and
is
again.
not healing
But
in this capacity. So we want to know about
okay.
the other ways.
like the ways that are actually, legal in the other 47 states.
No, this one was legal.
Okay.
This was legal.
Okay.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
It was
Go ahead.
legal. Because about the current situation, not
Right.
past situation.
Okay,
So
got
this is legal.
Now we're talking about the time when you were like, this is for real. Like I need to fix me and move forward.
Yes, this is that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Right.
this 2021, 22 situation.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Just right off that last fiscal year.
yes,
Yeah.
that's
That
the one I'm talking about. So for that situation, when I found out, I had 1,001 questions. Now, part of me was like, this nigga lying, this nigga's telling the truth. But when I found out that it was multiple women throughout the years, I was like, okay, bitch, get your life together. Like, you got to figure out what's up with you and figure out how you finna heal this. Because whatever is going on, you finna take this into the next relationship. So part of my healing was therapy, and giving me the tools to look at what Sarita was doing. Look at how Sarita was handling situations. Looking at how Sarita was communicating. Um, and so part of my healing was also looking at that person and being like, I did the best by you, and you still fucked me over. That's not on me. Like, because I was the person who took it on as it was all my fault. Even though they were telling me, no, it had nothing to do with you, I took it on as my own personal baggage, as it was, I wasn't communicating enough. I wasn't loving enough. I wasn't affectionate enough. I wasn't this. I wasn't that. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I had to take a step back and look and be like, no, bitch, you did what you could do. They didn't want to receive it. They didn't, it wasn't on you. You did the best that you could with the information that was given to you. Now, if they wanted to continue to lie and not be truthful to you, that's not on you. So part of my healing was understanding that it wasn't all what I did. I had to look in the mirror and say, no, you did the best you can. Yes, you fucked up in some areas. Now it's time to work on those areas. But also, it wasn't all on you. So
Right.
once I realized that, and I realized that um I did the best that I could in the situation and the information that I was given, I was able to move on. And then also within the process of the divorce and just life, I saw that person's true colors. They started to move how they really wanted to move. And then I realized, oh, wait, oh, yeah, it really wasn't on you. Like, that's not the type of person that you wanted to be with in the first place. So if you would have known that, this situation would have never happened. So that healing it did take some time. And now I'm to the point now where honestly, I can look at that person and there's no reaction. Now I got some choice words for them for some shit that they did to my children, and we're gonna have that conversation. But that's just the mother in me. I need to
Right.
get that part. I need to get that part out. But as far as the shit that you did to me and how you responded to me, it's whatever. Because I know I was good to you. I know I did what I was supposed to do as a wife, as a woman, as your girlfriend, as your fiance. I know I did what I was supposed to do. I know God put me here for a certain reason. And regardless if we didn't make it, I was put in your life and you was put in my life for a reason. So I did my part. Now, the shit you got to deal with, that's on you. But for me personally, at this point, I used to be the type to be, if you was on fire, I wouldn't piss on you. At this point, I may not piss on you. I might get you a little water. It won't be a fire hydrant. I might get you a little water, a cup, 8 ounces. But after that, you're young. That's just how I am at this point.
TSA approved life
At this
saving.
at this point, you do you, I do me. We don't have to communicate. We don't have to be friends. None of that. Because life is going to continue to move on. And I've realized that the type of person that you are and the shit that you do in your life, that's not me. I don't get down like that, and I never will. I wasn't, like they say, we cut from a different cloth. I don't know what cloth you've cut from, but that cloth is real shitty, and I'm not that cloth. But
Mm.
I will say, for me to help with healing and all the shit that I went through all at one time, it was
Yeah.
therapy that helped me. Because I think if it wasn't for therapy, I probably would have lost my fucking mind. If it like, I have a sweatshirt that says Jesus and therapy. If it wasn't for them two, I would have been out of here. It would have been a whole different situation. Kiana would have been like, "Bitch, get your whole life together." Like I would have had Estella got your groove back, cutting my hair off. Like it would have been a whole situation. And you know how I feel about my hair,
Yes.
so it would have been
Yes.
one of those
We
situations.
know, Samson. We know.
It would have, like, I feel like if it wasn't for them to, if it wasn't for Jesus, therapy, and my inner circle, like my girls, Kiana and my cousins, everything that happened to me in 2021, 2022 would have took a chick out, and I would have been around here with a fade cut like you, Marcus. Like it would have been a whole bad situation.
Nah, we couldn't have been cool. If I'd ever seen you with a one with a wave pattern, we would have had nigga, nah.
We can't be cool.
So much shit that was going on. That's where my life was headed. Like I was to the point where I was like, fuck it all. We finna cut everything off. We finna get. Listen, it would have been different.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been different. You wouldn't have been no therapy. You'd have just been locked in a room somewhere. We'd have just been staring at you going.
It would have been a 51. Okay, listen. Yeah.
Do they have teleconferencing at John George?
Unfortunately,
okay,
yeah.
Cool. I don't know how often I would come up and visit. I just want to video chat in.
Oh yeah. No. They have a video link because they used to call down there, and I'd be like, I don't want to talk.
Because I say the wrong thing, they're gonna be to put me in a room too. So I just want to talk on the phone and hang up, honey. Because we're not trying to get the side by side.
You could no. No,
one of us has
you
to
could never go up there
all the time.
Right.
And if she's in there, I gotta be out here. So
nah. If somebody ever actually evaluated you, Key, they'd be like, who let you out?
Like out of the two of us,
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Like,
what wing are you supposed to be in? Because you ain't supposed to be walking these halls.
Right. Out of the two of us, she's supposed to be in there, and I'm supposed to be out here. But the shit that was going on in my life, tables had turned. So if it wasn't, like I said, if it wasn't for therapy and just some sound advice and information from certain people,
right,
I would have lost it all. Like, lost it all. Because I was like, bitch, I'm on my way back. Grab her. Hold the bitch till I get. She was like, no. No. Because it
she gonna take us both to for kidnapping.
I had thoughts, plans. I had shit lines.
Hey, what?
Holding a man hostage.
Hey, I'm explaining to you the concept of kidnapping. Kidnapping is basically if you hold anybody against their will and make them move 2 feet. That's kidnapping.
Well,
as it is explained by California law.
But see, technically, I had a key to the house and I let myself in. She wasn't supposed to be
It don't matter.
So,
it don't matter.
Honor, I walked in here and I was scared.
No, as somebody who has sat in the back of that room, and heard these arguments, Your Honor would be like, so your bail is set at, we're going to go ahead and remand you back to custody. Because
Jesus,
that's kidnapping. They're not dismissing that.
Because I surely had, listen, Jesus in therapy is all I can say.
You know what? But I mean, that's cool though, because like, think about it. Like, nobody else mentioned therapy. Not a single soul. Kiana was like, nah, we good.
No, you go need therapy when I'm done with you.
My point exactly.
But I think because also I had so many things hit me at one time.
Right.
I need to talk to somebody. I need to talk to somebody outside of my circle, because I love my circle and my circle is down for me 10 toes.
Clearly, if you listen to the answers we just gave, you should never speak to us.
But I needed somebody who also didn't know me, who was just on the strength of what was going on in my life, could give me tools and listen to me and be like, okay.
I had tools.
No, bitch.
Kidnapping tools. You had a shovel and duct tape. That's not what was needed.
I got a piece.
That right?
No, not that piece.
That wasn't the tools I was talking about. I'm talking about tools that out of jail. Okay. But I needed someone
Jesus.
Who knew, who didn't know me, who didn't know my past, who didn't know my reactions, who didn't know that, when she's upset, she just gets to talking, and she talking to nobody, and she's just out here talking.
Right. Nah, that is so. That is so. Just walking and speaking.
Exactly. I need somebody who to be like, hey, bitch, get it together. Like, you can't just be out here talking because they're gonna commit you. Like, I needed somebody who could tell me this is what you need to do, or this is what I offer for you to do in this situation. Because I also knew that going into my 40s with an 18, 19-year old and him being away, there were certain things in my life that I wanted to not have to repeat and not have to. I wanted to be better for him, because I ain't gonna lie to you. In my eyes, I fucked up as far as being a parent and as far as the people that I brought into my child's life,
Yeah.
male figures.
Yeah.
Like, I fucked up. Like, that was one of the things that weighed on me the most.
Yeah.
So I needed someone who, like, I knew my friends and family was going to be like, no, you're a great parent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew they were going to tell me that, but I needed somebody who didn't know me to actually be like, no, you did the best that you could with the information that was given to you. And so that's why I said therapy. Some people, especially black people, be like, I'm not fucking with it. But honestly,
Exactly. That's where I was going with it. Like, we
therapy,
look at it a certain way.
yeah, honestly, therapy
Mm-hmm.
is one of the best things that ever happened to me. And I will say, I had thought about it for a long time, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. But then, like, all that happened to me, I was like, no. And then when I talked to Kiana, she was like, yeah, bitch, therapy. Get it. Do it now, because you lose shit. And I will say one thing about Kiana, she ain't gonna lie to me. When she said, bitch, do it, I was like, oh yeah, okay, got it. I'm in it. Let me find somebody, help me. Because obviously, one thing I know about her, she not gonna lie to me. So if she would have been like, no, you good, you don't need to do it. But when she said yes, oh, that was confirmation. Yeah, bitch, you going down like the Titanic. You need to you need to talk to somebody. Because I felt it. Like, I felt the depression. I felt the anxiety. I felt like I was going down like the Titanic, and I didn't know. And I already don't know how to swim. So for me really not to know how to swim, yeah. Emotionally, physically, yeah. I needed it. So my thing is, if you're ever going through something and you're not sure and you think therapy is the option, therapy is always going to be an option.
Yeah. I think the stigma behind it, and this is completely up. I have two questions, not that are completely off topic, but I think the stigma behind what we think about with therapy, especially amongst African Americans or black people, however, like, man, you airing out family business. And I talked about this on a previous show with my partner, life coach Don, who is a life coach, and talks about it. It's like, we take that stigma of you taking family business out the house, and you're not supposed to, when it's real life. Is like, if you want to keep your family in business, you need to take this out the house.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you ever, I think that's something everybody needs to get off of. If you need help, ask for help. Don't think you got it. It's okay to not have it for a week. Somebody's here to help you.
Mm-hmm.
But my other question, and all of you guys brought this up and nodded your head, and I wanted to ask you about this, was you all said it, having this male in your life with your child and how that plays out. Because I've heard it before and I kind of never really got it. Like, I understand, like, bringing certain people around your kids in general, but like, in terms of it from a female standpoint, when you bring somebody in for the majority, or for the just to see the repeat process of people coming in and out of your life, like, what is that like? How does that play out?
Well, I'll go first because I think mine is very short-lived. Because I have a child, and because I have a child who has special needs, who consistency is a big part of his life. And so the slightest shift for him, while it may not be a big deal to me, the slightest shift for him is inner turmoil. So because I recognize that and I accept that, I have not gotten to a point where I bring anyone around my son. But at the same time, I have not really ventured off after his father. So
Right.
I haven't gotten to that space, but knowing that, new people is a big thing for any child. But having a child with autism, new people is a whole anxiety level times 35. And that's just not something that I want to subject my child to, especially for someone who I ain't gonna like in 90 days. So right. I honestly think, like, in my mind at this time, like, I wouldn't bring anyone around my child until it was somebody that is like, okay. I mean, because I wouldn't get married again. I've already put that out there. I would just go down in somebody's obituary as a special friend because I'm just not going to do it again. But I think it would have to be somebody that I could see my life shacking up with for the next 93 years, because we just gonna have to talk to Jesus and live unholy. He know my heart, and he know the trauma that his last dusty sheep put me through, and we're just not gonna revisit that.
Okay. We all
I want to respond, but Kiana, but
we
Sarita, go ahead, please.
so for me, because my child is older, he's 19. Me and his father, of course, we were together, but we broke up when he was like, what, 3 months, 3 4 months.
Yeah.
So
Did he go that long?
yeah, because he was born in October, we broke up in January. So
Yeah.
like for that situation, it's always been a weekend dad who wasn't there on the weekends anyway. He was in and out. Like sometimes he was there and sometimes he wasn't. So that alone has been a issue for my son. Like that alone has been um conversations where you can tell he is hurt,
Yeah.
because he will say
Mm-hmm.
he's a cool dude, but he's trash as a father.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me to bring somebody else into his, so when that happened, I was real cautious about bringing anyone else around him. And then when I met this person and he said, yes, I'm down for you and your son. Like, I am here for the both of y'all. This is, like, I understand this is a package deal and I'm okay with that. And I'm ready for any ups and downs and challenges. So I was like, okay, cool. So when he finally did meet my son, after about a year of us talking and dating and all of that stuff, I was like, okay, maybe this will work. And then he was in my son's life for the most influential years of his life, from like two, what it was, it 3.5
Mm-hmm.
4
Yeah.
up until basically 17 18. Like those are
Yeah.
the most influential years of a child's life, especially for a male. So for you to be in his life and to give him all these insights, tidbits, be there for all his games, be there, the father figure that he was yearning for and needed and wanted, and you were doing all of these things, and then all of a sudden 18 hit, we get a divorce, and now there's no communication. Like, come on, bruh. So now I'm like, as a woman, as a parent, as a mother, I'm like, damn, I done fucked up again. I done had a baby with a nigga who ain't been around, who sometimes is around. And then I brought another man into his life who did what he was supposed to do, but really didn't want to be there and only was there because of, I got this obligation, but now that he's 18, fuck it, I'm gone. So as a woman, as a parent, as a mother, it makes it hard because we want the best for our children and we want to make sure that we're happy and they're happy, and that there is that figure there for them. But when it bites us in the ass, it's like, okay, well, fuck it, I'm not dealing with nobody. And if I do deal with somebody, I'm definitely not bringing them around my child. Because for me personally, the conversations that me and my child have and the way he talks about his father and the way he talks about his ex stepfather, it hurts because I feel like I was the one who fucked up. Because I was the one who brought these people into your life. Like, I was the one who decided to have sex with this person and have a child. Now, granted, you was doing right before he came along. Then all of a sudden, you got to act stupid. Now, this man who I brought into your life, who said he was going to be there and do all these things, now all of a sudden he MIA. He can't answer a text message, but yet he's still in my DMs. And then the fact that he wasn't just brought around you, you now have been brought around my godson, and now you MIA. And again, like she said, my godson needs consistency. So that's a double whammy. And I know that it's not on me, but I ain't gonna lie. I feel responsible for the fact that he is no longer there in both their lives. because I
Gotcha.
brought him around. You know what I'm saying? I brought him around, so now you done fucked off two kids' lives. Now, one of them is younger, who don't quite, who realizes, okay, well, wait a minute, but still they not tripping, but it's still, I feel like it's still my responsibility. So I ain't gonna lie, I'm finna have a conversation, and it's finna get real. It probably will,
Oh
but I'm
Lord.
finna have that conversation. But I feel like it was my responsibility to make sure that this person was there for the long haul, and they weren't. So it's a different feeling for me. And then also, like, now at this point, yes, I have somebody else in my life, but also my child is 19 at this point. So his response is, I don't give a fuck what you do, just as long as you're happy. Now, if the nigga make you unhappy, I'm finna. He, I realized something about my child. He
I
has
love him
the,
to death, but that's not his life. That's not his
he,
life.
he has the mindset of me and Kiana when we was younger, and he ready to this this child is
That's not his.
choking
That's not. He don't know nothing about
regardless.
that.
He don't care.
Mm-mm.
He don't. When it comes to his mama and his nana,
We don't care.
he gives two flying. He don't care.
Nah, but I mean, I'm here. I'm here for it.
He
I'm here for it. But
he don't.
I,
Because remember, this is the same child who choked the kid out with a cast because he had to pee. So
yeah,
like he don't care. And
I
so
mean, you,
I just feel like for me, it's harder to bring someone else around. And I never will. I think at this point in my life, like unlike Kiana, I do want to get married again. Even though my marriage did not work out, I do want that companionship. I do want to get married again. Um, but I also want to make sure that it is to the right person. So
right,
if I feel any type of red flag, any type of pink flag, if the shit is teal and it look like it's turning red, turning pink, if it's got a hint of red in it,
wait a minute.
a hint of red
She
orange,
said
got
teal turning pink.
like if it look peach, okay, that's where I'm at this
Not
point.
peach.
If the shit look peach, I'm not fucking with you. I can't do it. But and I think that's also because I've been through I've been through heartbreak to where I have put my all into a person. Like
Right.
like my 1,000. Like I'm down 10 toes down. You commit a crime, officer, I know nothing. Like 10 toes down to a person, and that wasn't reciprocated. So for me, like I said, if I see some shit that look peach, nah, bruh. Like I
She
can't do it.
said peach.
So but for I think that, like as I said, as a woman, as a mother, to bring a person into your child's life, it's a big responsibility. And one of the things that I'm dealing with in therapy is the fact that I feel like I fucked up, and it wasn't just for one child; it was for two.
All right. So before Melissa takes us to church and to Cell Block C, uh, so everybody's keep like I would ask this before we get into it. Like, so is everybody just done with marriage? Because like I had this conversation before, like off with other people, and they seems like once you get married once and it don't work out, you're just like I'll never do this again.
I'm not, like I said, I would like to get married again, but I need to make sure that is the right person. So that means me and God got to have a God got to be in my face, like yes, he is the one. Like it's got to be.
Yo, the fact that your camera froze and all of a sudden your eye was right there. I was like,
Like,
I've been drinking too much for that type of action. You got to be cool. Wait a minute.
like that's where it's got to be for me to be like, yes, I will marry you. That's where it's got to be at.
Makes sense.
Melissa, go ahead,
Yeah,
please.
right. Okay. All right. So, this marriage was actually my second marriage. I got
Okay.
married when I was 19. The reason was because I was trying to break generational curses. I didn't want to be the sister. I'm the youngest of four, and I am the daughter of a affair. So my father was married when my mother got pregnant with me, and so to this day, I still don't have a relationship with him or my other siblings that are his children because of the hurt that that created. So it not only falls from where I'm at, it was a creation of who I am. So I come at it from a lot of different aspects. Um, I was in that relationship first and it turned into Ike and Tina. So fast forward, I said the same thing. I will never, unless God Himself says, come down here. I mean, this is the one and get to it. And I thought that's what this was. So I did get into it. I did get married the second time. Hence the story that you got introduced to first. And would I do it again? In this headspace, yes. Because the first time I was just trying to break a generational curse. I felt like that was my responsibility to end world hunger for my family. You know what I mean? For the second time, it was because I allowed somebody else to overtalk my women's intuition. I allowed somebody to tap into what should have only been a space created between me and my God. Um, and I allowed them to influence me. Would I do it again? But boy, it would take a lot. But I mean, if things were lined up in a way that I felt like I was vibing with that person, we would be shacking up for a little piece of time. But I
Right.
mean, if it was something that I felt like you were investing in me and I was investing in you and you wanted to merge us on that level, then yeah, I would definitely be open to it. Um, I don't want to say that because two people fucked up, nobody else has the opportunity to treat me right, because some of that was me not knowing what that meant. So I don't want to cheat someone who may actually be on point out of their opportunity to treat me exactly the way I feel like I want to be treated and should be treated because I'm scarred. So yeah, I would do it again with the right and for the right person.
Yeah, I know a few people that were like never in life under any circumstances.
Me too, and I might change my mind, but
I want to be able to put on my parachute and get the fuck out at any point in time. I don't want to file no paperwork.
well,
Okay.
you still
I don't want
can.
to ask for nobody's permission. I want to be like peace up, a town down at any moment, and I feel like mar- marriage on paper changes that because reality is
Right.
these days the way people think it's just a piece of paper. They mindsets don't shift. And
Hmm.
so I feel like I would rather have the mindset of a person that's willing to make that commitment than that piece of paper. Because the moment that
Right.
mind, because obviously niggas is sending out their front man to get married. So at the point
That
the
part.
real person shows up, I don't want to be like, I need $5,000 and I need to fill out all this paperwork and I need to wait for somebody to tell me it's okay. I want to be able to move
Right.
on my own accord accordingly. You know what? You moving foul.
Hmm.
I'm gonna pack my little suitcase and head on out. It takes out a lot of the red tape at the end, which makes I feel like in a marriage, it makes the separation piece so much harder because you still have all this business that you have to tend to on the back end. So I hate
Especially
your
being in
guts. I want you
California.
to disappear like the great Gazoo from the
Yeah, I heard
Flintstones.
that was worse.
And every time I turn around, you pop it up on my shoulder again.
Right. Especially, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, especially being in California with it being a 50-50 state. It does make divorce a lot harder because, yeah, I, anyway, yeah, continue. Oh, baby.
No, what I was gonna say was that was it Neil Brennan, the dude that helped write the Chappelle Show. He has a special out where he talks about the social construct of marriage and how all relationships only trend in one direction. And he was like, would you rather have somebody who is locked into a cage to you, or would you rather have somebody fly in and out of your cage because they can or whatever? And he was like, doesn't that make more sense? And I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm 50-50 on it. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like I'm not. Granted, I've never been married
Right.
before. At least none of y'all know about. But never been married before. But I don't know. Like I want it in a technical sense, but at the same time, if I don't have to,
Yeah, because that was
I think my issue is my whole issue is I don't want a wedding. Like I just want to be like, all right, I'm married. Like I don't want to do the whole show.
I mean, you don't have to. That was because I was actually that was gonna be my question to you because out of this panel, you're the only one who hasn't been married. So, how do you feel about marriage? Because I'm gonna tell you, like the next time I get married, we not fuck all that wedding venue and all that shit. We finna go down to the courthouse and the bitch finna have a party later. Like I'm not finna do that. I'm not. I'm not doing the whole wedding thing.
Nah, it's no, I'm can be real. I'm here for it. Like in terms of like just a wedding, but I've said this, and this has gotten me into more than a few conversations and arguments, whatever you want to call it, with females. But like my whole thing is like I don't want the actual wedding. If you like, let's go get married. Cool. We can courthouse this. The drive-through chapel in Las Vegas could do this for $225 with tax. I've already done the research. I know.
Tax though.
With tax, your license. I mean, I'm telling you, with tax, the car you car you gonna rent from them or the car you drive through, your license and everything, $225, $75 with tax. Done deal. You married.
A lot cheaper than the shit than a real wedding. I'll tell you that much.
It is, but this is where cats like jump down my throat with it because they're always like, "Oh, you just no." Because my idea is like just like everybody talked about. At the end of the day, it's gonna either come back on you or it's gonna come back on this other person to make this work. So when it breaks down to, and we talked about it, and I want to talk about it again, it's like communication of needs and all this other stuff. But like when it really comes down to it, like ain't nobody else gonna be around. Like cool, you had 100 people, 200 people at your wedding. At the end of the day, it's just you two, or even to a certain degree, it's just you, because you have to look at yourself and be like, all right, I can fix this. I know how to make us work through this, or I'm here to fight through this, or I'm out. So all those people that were there and looked great and it was awesome, but don't none of that count for nothing now. So that's always been my standpoint on it. Like I'm here for it. Like I get a text message right now. So I cave. We go. It's not a big deal. Like I'm here for it. Like I definitely do it. I don't have a problem with it. But I understand the concept of like I understand what you guys are saying about never doing it again. Especially from Kiana's standpoint, where she's talking about like all the stuff that goes into being separated and taken apart, right, and just the back and forth and the rigmarole of it. Like I've been with my partners that have gone through it. Both my brothers. I've gone through it directly with them. Right. So I know what it takes out of you. I've seen it from male and female standpoint, what it will take out of you. So I mean, you obviously don't never plan for any of that to fail, but at the same time, I'm not anti-marriage at all. Like I'm here for it. I just don't want my whole thing is I've never wanted the show. I don't ever want to have to deal with that 4-month run up to this event, where people have all these opinions and you got to do all this other stuff to,
appease other people.
Appease other people, make them feel included in all these different traditions. Like that's the part where I've always been like, no.
That's
everything else, yeah. For the actual idea of marriage, yeah, I'm still an old school romantic on that part. Like, yeah, why not? I'll put on a ring, you put on a ring, we go.
Yeah, that's why I said the next time I get married, we not doing the whole ceremony, big show, gotta be outside or on the beach. We're not doing that. Like because like you said, at the end of the day, those hundreds of people, whoever you invited, they not finna be there in your marriage. They not finna be there fighting for your marriage. They not finna be there having them tough conversations.
If they are in your marriage is doomed anyway.
They not finna be there having them tough conversations. It's just finna be you and that person. So if I ever do get married again, I'm cool with going to the courthouse. I'm cool with going through the drive-through in Las Vegas. Like I'm cool with that because at the end of the day, it's just us two in this marriage. And to be honest with you, I learned that in my marriage, I learned that at some point in time, sometimes it's just you in this marriage. Sometimes it's just you fighting. Sometimes it's just him fighting. Sometimes it's both of y'all fighting. But if y'all both are consistent and y'all both want it, then it can work. But when that one person don't want it no more and it's just you fighting, you're in a losing battle. So I still believe in marriage. I still want to get married again. But it's gonna be different. gonna be a lot
Like I
different.
said, I'm gonna take special friend for 5,000, Alex.
Life
Life-
partner, life
Okay,
partner for
Will and
200.
Okay, Will and
Cause
Jada. Life partner, Will and Jada. All right.
and yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the entanglement
Right.
anyway. So what do you? I mean, so aside from that, like in an actual relationship, what have you had to do to keep from cheating? Because once again, Sarita and Kiana, I know both of y'all very well, and I know some of the things that have been said to y'all. I didn't see the messages. So, what does it take to keep from cheating, in your opinion? Sometimes.
I know for me, what kept me from cheating is, in this instance, was my vows, because I was
Right.
married. That kept me from cheating, because even though I was married, yeah, the DM still came, the offer still came, but my vows kept me faithful, because I just, for me personally, I believed in my vows. I believed what I said when I stood up there. I believed, like I was in this wholeheartedly when I stood up there on that day and said my vows. So that's one thing that kept me from cheating. Um, Even though I had the opportunity, I had the chances. Um, Now, if I wasn't married, I don't know, because it's
We are talking once again. Let's rewind an hour ago. We are talking monogamous
now
relationships. Only monogamous
if
relationships. If you were in a monogamous relationship, whether you married or not, you've committed yourself to this person. This is your social contract. We didn't iron out all the terms. You not talking to them. No work wives, no work husbands. All of this. We rewind the tape.
then
You were in a
in
monogamous
that case,
situation.
Y'all
right,
together.
because we've had
Yeah,
that
exactly.
conversation, and I know where we stand, and we're together, then no, I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize that. If I'm 10 toes down and you're 10 toes down, that's what it is. Like, I am faithful to a fault and to a detriment of myself, and I know that is a fault that I have. That is a toxic trait that, like, I am. When I say I am 10 toes down for you, I am 10 toes down for you. I am faithful to a fault. So for me, if that's what it is, and that's the conversation that we've had, and we know from jump, this is what it is, regardless of how far we are apart, regardless of what it is, that's what I'm gonna be. Now, when I find out some shit is different, well, now then, hey, things change. But until, but until that happens, I'm gonna be there 100%, faithful and all. Like I said again, I am loyal to the detriment, and I know this. I am loyal to the detriment of myself, and it's not just in marriage, but in relationships, because